Hello and welcome to Keepin' It Real Consumer, the channel that provides honest reviews to your favorite products. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. In today's book review, we're checking out Maverick, a biography of Thomas Sowell by Jason L. Riley. Maverick tells the story of Tom Sowell, who is a grade school dropout, who didn't have any prospects until he was drafted into the Marines for the Korean War. Ironically, being in the Marines brought him the GI Bill, which later led to his college education, where he went to Harvard for his bachelor's degree, Columbia for grad school, and finally to the University of Chicago for his doctorate. Tom Sowell himself says he started out as a Marxist socialist. But what was hammered home at the University of Chicago was the use of empirical data and to follow it down the road to wherever it may lead, which later led to views of many uncomfortable truths with the lowering of black academic standards. After earning his degrees, he was a college professor for multiple years. However, he was known to be very difficult. He did not grade on a curve, grant extensions, or give makeups, which eventually led to falling outs at the various universities he taught at, including Howard, Cornell, and UCLA, amongst others. He eventually joined the Hoover Institute and created a nationally syndicated column, between writing and publishing 36 books. Overall, I would say that this book has a theme of if you work hard enough, you can achieve anything. And Tom Sowell did not agree with the lowering of academic standards. He felt by lowering the bar, it set up students for failure later in life. He also felt that it took away from their accomplishments. And at numerous times throughout the book, he cites marginalized racial groups who were eventually able to persevere without affirmative action. Though Tom Sowell did agree with the removal of Jim Crow laws in the South, he did not necessarily agree with the policy changes that happened thereafter. And oftentimes, by citing simply empirical data, he may come across as cold to those in positions of influence, such as the NAACP. In fact, within the book, he cites that many in Black America made greater progress between the 1920s and the 1960s versus the time after. And he has a view that often African American leadership is not in line with the constituents that they represent. Overall, I think this book tackles some uncomfortable truths. The empirical data and what we're told in public are often two different things. This book also shows how going it alone and not necessarily falling in line with the team can be detrimental. Ultimately, Sowell published over 36 books, which leaves us with lots of material to go through. And I really found that throughout the book, the author really seemed to admire Tom Sowell. As of the time of this recording, Tom Sowell is still alive at 95 years old. Now, I do have to admit that this book was recommended to me by my brother as something that may change perspective. Could it do the same for you? So I'm going to go ahead and post the QR code now for Maverick, where you can follow the link and it will take you right to this book if you'd like to check it out today. I think what I enjoyed most about this book was learning a different viewpoint based on empirical data. Oftentimes today we get a lot of opinionated news versus empirical news. In that regard, this book was a breath of fresh air, as political discourse in America needs to get back to a place where we can debate actual facts. This is Maverick, the autobiography of Tom Sowell by Jason L. Riley.